On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks, quote-unquote, lose to the Cleveland Cavaliers, get exposed on defense, but Quentin Grimes does some really great things. We'll talk about all that and more on today's Like on Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
You are Locked On Mavs.
Great, Rusty.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
Almost done.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And welcome. You're locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being it every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen today. Subscribe to our free Locked On Mavs newsletter wherever you get your emails. Go ahead and send that in, and you will get the best news and analysis for the Dallas Mavericks and the NBA straight to your inbox every day. The NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on the regular season action with FanDuel, because right now new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's FanDuel.com to get started. And joining me, as always, on a postgame, the postgame prodigy. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
How much longer of this do we have? How much more can we possibly take?
If the illness, the plague that is the plague, it continues to ravage the Dallas Mavericks, it may be a lot longer.
They are the biggest threat to national security as it currently stands.
We should get this team tested. We should get them all quarantined. We should get them all, I don't know. There's got to be some kind of test. But today's episode, we'll get into the Mavs game against the Cavs. Kyrie Irving doesn't play in this game. Obviously, Luka Doncic is still out. And so that's why I go, quote-unquote, Mavs for a game like this. And so they're missing a bunch of guys. We've gone over things that they need to do when the team is injured. But one of the things that the team needs to do when they're all injured is to defend. And they could not defend this Cavs team at all. The Cavs, anytime they wanted to go on a run, they did. They went on a 20-0 run that Jason Kidd called 2 timeouts during. And it just is this. I just came away more impressed with this Cavs team, and kind of like, all right, this Mavs defense just had a really, really bad night against a really, really good offense.
Yeah, I mean, this Cavs offense is literally the greatest offense in NBA history in its current form. Obviously, any team nowadays that is the best offense in the league ends up being the best offense of all time. That's the trend. That's been the case for several years. And,
since the Mavs in like 2018? 2019?
No, it was Luka's, I think, second year. They were the greatest offense of all time.
Yeah, 2019.
But yeah, I mean, they get 2 feet in the paint, they kick out, they have a bunch of three-point shooters, they bomb threes. Donovan Mitchell can shoot pull-up threes off the dribble. Darius Garland can shoot off the dribble. Karis LeVert can come in and shoot off the dribble. Ty Jerome's been a revelation this year. And now Mobley is, I think, 2.5 threes a game, and he's 40+%. Like, he's turning into the guy that somebody mentioned this, and this was just the truth, where it's like everything that needed to go right for the Cavs this season has. Like,
yeah.
Darius Garland is back to the all-star level player that he was a few years ago. Jared Allen's playing at an all-star level. Mobley's finally taking that leap forward, and Donovan Mitchell's playing like a guy who might get some MVP votes here and there, not like an MVP candidate or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good offense. The Mavs struggled defensively tonight, but a lot of teams struggle defensively against this team.
Yeah, the Cavs finished with like 138 offensive rating, which is they average like 124 or something like that. So a bad defensive performance for the Mavs. But this Cavs team is they're really good offensively. And Evan Mobley exposed them in a lot of ways. I thought that Mobley really made Derek Lively struggle a lot in this game. Really, really struggled. And yeah, he was having a hard time keeping up with him. He was having a hard time keeping with all the switches. The Cavs made the Mavs switch a ton in this game. They just make you make a ton of quick decisions, and it's just brutal.
Yeah, I mean, that's really it. They make you make quick decisions, and we've seen times where centers and teams that play like this, can give this Mavs bigs like some problems whenever they have to guard a guy, and then you have a guy like Jared Allen who can get in the middle of the floor and has that almost unguardable hook shot, right? That float shot that he has in the middle of the floor. So if they're running a 2-man game and the Mavs bigs have to commit to a guard coming off a screen in an effort to prevent a floater or a layup, they get the ball and Darius Garland's one of the best in the league at this 2-man game with his bigs. They get the ball to the middle of the floor. Jared Allen has that, push shot that is almost automatic, and Mobley can shoot threes now. So yeah, the Mavs defense was struggling tonight for sure. They had some turnover problems early in the game as well that didn't help them out in that regard. And it was, again, like a lot of times, and especially in today's NBA with how fast paced it is, your offense is a lot of times your best defense. Like if you can slow the game down by making baskets and making shots, then the game slows down on the other end as well. And you can, set your defense and stuff like that. And that was a struggle for the Mavericks early on yet again, but their offense did pick it up in the second half. I think it's a reason why you saw, I was going to say a better defensive second half, but that wasn't really the case.
No, better offensive. Definitely a better offensive second half.
Yeah, no. Definitely a better offensive second half. I mean, 32, 32, and 37 the last 3 quarters for the Mavs.
Not bad. Also, maybe a team that kind of kicked back a little bit, but the Mavs, I thought, had some really good offensive moments in this game for sure. And let's move over to Quentin Grimes because he's been a revelation and he's been really good. 26 points, 24 points in the second half. And it wasn't just like he was bombing threes. He was only 1 of 5 from 3, 9 of 14 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, had 6 assists as well. I mean, he was handling the ball. He was controlling the offense. He was doing things off the pick and roll. He was doing things off the dribble, finishing. Quentin Grimes was awesome in this game. It's like even more than I could have hoped for him to be in a game like this. And it just makes you think when Luka and Kyrie do come back and when the team is finally healthy at some point that he can do some of those extra things like with those guys still on the court and off of some of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most encouraging part of all the stuff you just said, he had all those points. He made 1 3. It wasn't like he, went 8 of 8 from 3 or something like that and just had a crazy shooting night. He made 1 3, 7 free throw attempts, and all this stuff off the dribble. It's the last time that we talked, and we're just digging deep for any positive things that we could say over this. But it was Grimes. It's like it really, his off the dribble stuff has been so impressive. And tonight was maybe the best, the best showcase of that, because this is a great Cavaliers defense as well, and they have all their guys, so it wasn't like he was going up against the Cavs B team and they're like worst defenders. Like he was having to get it out of the mud against one of the best defensive teams in the league as well. So yeah, really impressive game from QG.
I do kind of like when Sean Heath, the PA announcer, yells QG in the arena here. I do kind of like that.
Usually I'm an anti-initials guy because I just feel like it's so lazy. But QG is a good one.
No, anytime somebody calls Luka LD, I just roll my eyes. I can't.
No,
I can't do this.
I'm about to start calling Kyrie KI.
I was thinking KI, but they call him Kai, so that's pretty close, right? It's pretty close to calling him KI.
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah. Close. Yeah. I guess I can see that. That's just for Kyrie though. That's not a play on his initials.
Quentin Grimes also has something that's kind of underrated, and the Mavs need this, is shame. I feel like he went out there, and in the second half, he was like, all right, we're down. The Cavs keep scoring on us, and I'm going to come out, and I'm going to try hard. Even if it's not cool, like he's the kid in class that nobody else is doing their homework. It's cool to not do your homework and to not show up prepared. And he's like, I know I care about my grade. I'm going to show up, and I'm going to be prepared, and I want to make everybody else look bad because I'm going to be the one to come up and actually be prepared and actually take this seriously and do the right thing.
Yeah, you know what? Like, you can't say this team's not trying. They're just down so many guys. They're without their 2 best players. They're without a top 2 player in the world. They're without a top 15, top 20 player in the world. Yeah. And they're also without a guy who's been their 3rd ball handler most of the season in a lot of ways, Najee Marshall, who is getting out of prison tomorrow. Thankfully, the next game he'll be free.
Health prison, not actual.
No, suspension. He's in NBA prison. Right?
I guess it's NBA. I guess the NBA prison.
He's in the NBA penitentiary system. Adam Silver's a tyrant, and we're trying to overthrow the government here.
The warden.
But no, yeah, I mean, they're playing hard. And Quentin Grimes, just having guys like Quentin Grimes and Gafford, who was much better tonight.
Way better.
Even like Hardy. Hardy sometimes doesn't make plays. It makes plays where you scratch your head and maybe he's going a little too quick, but he does play really hard. And you always need guys like that. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just how hard Grimes played showed out to me tonight, and that was something that really stood out. 26 points for him. Led the team. Nobody else is even close. The next guy was Hardy with 17, who you mentioned. Yeah. And yeah, Quentin Grimes led the way in the second half, and he was like controlling the offense. He was orchestrating things. It was kind of wild to see him doing that, because when they brought him in, you didn't really expect him to be that guy. He was labeled as a 3-and-D guy, and I'm going to go back to it. I remember at media day when we asked him about do you want to be considered a 3-and-D guy, or is there something else that you would rather be considered? And he was kind of like almost upset that we brought up 3-and-D to him. He was like, I'm more than this. I can do more. And one of the things he wanted to do more this season was to go back to, I think he said, his high school days or his college days, and distribute more and pass more and be able to do more off the dribble. And he's definitely done that this season. So it's really good to see Quentin Grimes step up in that way. Coming up, let's get into the rest of this game. What else did we see? Klay Thompson, I thought, had a good run. P.J. Washington played. He wasn't hurt. And so let's talk about what we saw from him, things the Mavs need to get better on, and more coming up.
I don't believe you shouldn't be here.
Today's episode of Locked On Dallas Mavericks brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds, things that you can use to get in on the action. Check out FanDuel and see what is available for you. And you can right now get $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So put down $5 on something that's new, and you can get $250 in bonus bets. You got to love that. There's all kinds of stuff on there. You can go see, let's see, Grizzlies play the Warriors. That is a weird game, but I'm going to bring it up on Saturday. Warriors a 2.5-point favorite at home, which is strange to be a home favorite and only be 2.5. The Suns are an underdog against the Pacers. Always good to see the Suns not be favored in a game. Go check out FanDuel. See what's available in your area. College football playoffs. The NFL still going on as well. Check out and see what they have available at FanDuel. Also, check out GameTime. GameTime has you covered for all the tickets that you need to go to sports, comedy, theater, all kinds of stuff like that. I've been checking and I've been watching Texas versus Ohio State in AT&T Stadium for the Cotton Bowl. It's thrown me off that it's the Cotton Bowl in AT&T Stadium when we have the Cotton Bowl. Never mind. They went down. The price went down. $220 right now to go to that game. And if you turn in the all-in pricing, you can see exactly what you're going to pay at checkout. Gotta love that from GameTime. You also gotta love they have the GameTime picks so they can curate stuff and suggest things for you to go to. They have the Dallas Stars games. They have Cowboys. $17 to go to the Commanders at Cowboys game on Sunday. So see if you want to go there. Check that out at FanDuel or at GameTime. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA. Get $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONNBA is that promo code at GameTime. What time is it? It's game time.
Let's go home.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. I appreciate more and more the people that keep offering slightly tickets to games. I think I've had 3 or 4 season ticket holders come up to me during games and say, hey, I have season tickets, and I think I have an extra ticket and would slightly like to come with me. And I just think that that's the greatest thing. So hopefully you'll see Slightly at another game near you.
What can I say? I'm a popular guy.
I would give you my extra ticket Slightly. I would.
Thank you. No, you guys keep them.
The Mavs struggled in this game, but their offense I thought was pretty good. Klay Thompson had 16 points, struggled in the second half, but his first half, I thought he was good, coming off of some screens, taking some threes. He has at least 1 3 a game where you go, oh my gosh, how did he hit that? And then he misses a wide open 3. It's like, I was talking to Tim Cato about it. He's like, it just feels random. It's like a random number generator when Klay Thompson's going to hit a 3 or not. It doesn't depend. Like the difficulty of the shot does not matter to him. He'll hit a tough one and he'll miss an easy one. It's wild, but he hit 4. He was 4 for 7 in the first half. I thought he had a good first half.
Yeah, 4 for 7 in the first half. 2 assists as well. I'm still like kind of impressed with his playmaking at times. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that is funny because it is. It just feels like he's the same percentage on no matter what the shot is. Like wide open threes, times where he could dribble and do a rhythm dribble, or times where he's catching it, going up, opening, hesitation threes. Like it feels like they're all the same percentage, which is hilarious. But
it's very funny for us, but it also still gives him that value of he's always going to be a threat. You still can't leave him open. That's the saying from his introductory press conference that we're still saying about him is that it doesn't matter if it's contested or if it's wide open. You just can't leave him open. You can't leave him open at all. You have to at least go try to go and run over there, whether he's going to take a wide open shot or if it's already contested. You've got to send an extra body over there, and that helps the Mavericks offense for sure when he's on the court. And I thought you saw some of that tonight. Good to see P.J. Washington back, 15 points, 7 boards. I was nervous he was going to be out in this game with that right knee sprain, and he didn't miss any time. So good to see P.J. Washington in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing right there. Didn't have a great shooting night or anything like that, 6 of 18. The P.J. Washington post-up stuff, I think, has reached this weird point, and I guess it's kind of like a difficult time thing here because you just need some offense any way you can get it, really, with Kyrie and Luka out. I guess I should say Luka and Kyrie out when he misses these games. But it feels like they go to it quite a bit. They go to it early in games, obviously.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't been a very efficient play for quite some time now. So,
well, the design of it, I understand what Kid's trying to do with it. The design of it is what we talked about all offseason is that PJ is going to have the fourth best perimeter defender on him when it's everybody else. And when it's not, he's got Mobley on him. That is not a high percentage shot for him to do that. Or, if he got to switch against one of the guards, maybe he could do that. But the post up against even Dean Wade, he's, just a bigger wing or Allen or whoever. It's just not a high percentage shot. And then when he posts up a bunch, you have the help defenders in Mobley or Allen. They get to run over and come over and help too. So it's just not going to be an easy shot against this Cavs team, I don't think, especially with all the guys out. I mean, it's supposed to be an opportunity for PJ to take advantage of a bad defender, and that opportunity wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at it right now. He's in the 33rd percentile on post-up efficiency, which isn't the end-all be-all or anything like that, because it's a nice option to fall back on. But like you said, it's the idea is, think about the playoffs last year. Hey, you're putting a smaller Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on me. Like, I'm going to back him down, and you put him in the post. Like, that's when it's at its best. But I get it. But yeah, I am, like you said, very, very happy that he played tonight, because that was scary, because you never know with knee sprains. That could be a several week-long injury, and the Mavs really, really cannot afford that.
The other thing about PJ that's kind of weird, he led the team with 18 shots tonight. There are times when you look and you see this if you're here and you watch them in person, that PJ is leading the offense. PJ is like the go-to scorer at times. So he's getting the ball where Luka or Kyrie would normally get the ball with a couple seconds left on the shot clock or something, or 10 seconds left. They ran their first action, it failed, and now they've got to try and do something else. Okay, let's give it to PJ, and he'll go down for his post up, or he'll drive a little bit. I mean, he is a go-to scorer for them right now, which is not what you want PJ Washington. He's supposed to be an extra. So it's the post up thing, like on a bigger level that they're dealing with right now. That his scoring is supposed to be extra. It's supposed to be this bonus, but they're relying on it right now because of all these guys being out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, that is the crux of the issue entirely for the Mavericks right now. It's just, you see all these things that are encouraging, because like we said with Quentin Grimes, when this guy's back and this guy's back and this guy's back, Grimes keeps playing at this level, that's incredible. But it's just getting these guys back, and they don't have the horses right now to really consistently compete with this really difficult stretch that they're on schedule wise. And the Cavs are 30-4.
Yeah,
they're 30-4 now.
They're very good.
We're talking about one of the greatest starts to a season ever. Like, that's where they're at. I know we have like some weird history with them because of the playoffs, and a lot of people don't believe in them because of that. But the reality is, right now they're damn near unbeatable. So it's just difficult, and it sucks. It sucks for fans because, let's just be honest with ourselves. You go into a game like this tonight, it's like you're going to lose.
During the first quarter, Brandon Williams and Jaden Hardy were running the offense. There was no other guards out there with them. I just said, we're not going to take any big conclusions from this game, right? They're playing the best team in the NBA stats wise right now, and Brandon Williams and Jaden Hardy are running their offense. Okay, I'm not taking any big sweeping conclusions from a game like this about this Mavs team. I'm not going to all right, the Mavs need to change this and do this. We talked a lot about Gafford and Lively after the Houston game. Their plus minus was switched in this one. Is that something or nothing to you? Let's play that game.
Well, I think the reason why we harped on the Gafford one was because it was 10 minutes. We just brought that up because that was just a crazy.
It was
stat.
wild, yeah.
But I mean, I think this has been this weird trend lately where it feels like they just kind of go back and forth between having a good game and then having a bad game and then having a good game and then having a bad game. They're really struggling to find consistency, and I think that can be entirely pointed towards they don't have their point guards. They're not, they're not these centers that can create for themselves, really. I mean, you get the ball to Gafford in the post, and he can post some guys up for sure. But he's not really creating his own offense. Obviously, D-Live's not creating his own offense. And Luka just helps those guys out so much.
Gafford creates his own offense when he gets offensive rebounds, which is what he got in this game, right? He got 5 offensive rebounds, 12 points. He got those putbacks. And that's when he creates his own offense. Get the rebound, push, and run out in transition. That's him creating offense. And those opportunities haven't been available as much in this game. Mavs had 21 offensive rebounds, by the way, which is a wild stat for them.
Great number.
A great number. We'll take that for sure. But to your point, he didn't have his point guards, and Spencer Dinwiddie was awful in this game. I mean, just Really bad. I don't know what Kidd was doing in the second half where he started Jaden Hardy instead of Spencer Dinwiddie. I thought maybe he was doing that to get more offense in that second unit and not have the Brandon Williams, Jaden Hardy duo having to run the offense by themselves at a point in the rotation. And so maybe it was that because Dinwiddie came back and played. But yeah, just Dinwiddie himself, I just thought wasn't very good tonight.
No, and this is now. Remember, we told ourselves that we will sit here and take these stretches because we know that there's going to be a 4 or 5 game stretch where it's like, what? Mitch just had 32 points again.
Well, he did like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, we know that's probably coming. That's true. He did just have 30 points, so we were due a Spencer sneaker. I mean, that's
literally 2 games ago he had 30 points. So we're not that far removed from a good Dinwiddie game, right?
But it's the same thing where it's like the Grimes thing where Dinwiddie is like, if he's your second or third or even fourth guard,
yeah,
and that changes a lot of things. But when it becomes he's your number 1 guard, that's what we said. We had the Gafford Lively conversation a few days ago where it's like all of these flaws with certain players are really exemplified whenever you take away other pieces and they have to play more and more is asked of them. And so that's where the Mavs are at right now. I mean, yeah, some of these guys have flaws. I keep seeing people, tweet me and they're like, this is such a flawed roster. Well, yeah, the guys who are out there playing as many minutes right now because of all the injuries, yeah, they are flawed guys. They're not making 30, 40, 50 million dollars. These are all like role guys.
They're these role players that are these 25% or 50% players. They're going to give you something really good 50% of the time, 25% of the time. That's fine if you have your 200% players that bring it 100% of the time, and Luka and Kyrie, or even just one of them. Usually that's good, right? And you're playing against the best team in the NBA right now, record-wise. So I'm not really taking a lot of stuff from that. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Go check out Slightly Biased, great YouTube channel. Go check out the QR code for different ways to follow this show and subscribe and follow and all those different things. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs. Peace out. Boom.
If you went to this game, you might have to be in quarantine for the next 2 weeks.
You may be entitled to compensation.